Here we are recording on November 15th, in the middle of November. Thanksgiving on the horizon, a big Formula One weekend on the horizon. Connor Daly fighting through totally weird, wild, wacky scheduling out there on the West Coast, being on West Coast time. We'll hear more about that. I'm Joey Molinaro, of course, producer Ben Walton. Thank you so much for being with us. Another offseason edition of Speed Street. We got plenty. We got plenty to talk about. We got moves happening in Indycar, moves happening in the NASCAR world, a video game situation that just continues to baffle. And of course, we'll hear all about Connor's time in Vegas so far and what's to come this weekend. But of course, we can't go anywhere to talk about that without said man himself, Connor Daly, who is sitting in a Vegas hotel right now off of like 3 hours of sleep. How are we feeling, guy?
Yeah, man, it's definitely an interesting schedule here. Feeling good though. Wish I had my mic and my headphones and all the good things for proper sound and all that stuff. But here we are. We're doing it. We're making our best effort. Hopefully the internet's good enough to do a podcast as well. We shall see. But yeah, man, honestly, very wild scene, coming right in hot here on Monday night. I mean, it's a full. I'm here for 8 nights in Vegas, which is absurd, because I stay a little bit after as well for some Bit Nile activities with Todd Alton and the folks there. So, yeah, pretty crazy. A lot going on though, as you mentioned. Glad to see the IndyCar video game situation at least make a move somewhere. That's been a debacle.
Yep.
Graham Rahal is a signed racing driver again, which I think we all assumed would happen. But yeah, a couple good things to talk about, and kind of want to let you guys in on and let everyone in on, I guess, the details of the track. I did a lap of the track last night, so I think I was the first driver to drive a car around the track. It was still being heavily worked on, but drove a Chevy Tahoe around. A couple of the F1 guys were doing track walks, but pretty wild scene out here, and I feel like this is ground level reporting that we can get to our folks that honestly some people that I've seen on the Twitter sphere are coming to the race. So Speed Street fans are going to be here. People are. Whoa. I did bring stickers with me, so hopefully if I see people, I'll bring some around and maybe be able to hand some out.
Very nice. Yeah, that's literally boots on the ground, wheels on the ground reporting. So let's start there. We're seeing it all over Twitter. Formula One has taken over Las Vegas. What were your thoughts? I mean, because I know that we've seen the updates for a long time about where it's going to be, how it's going to look, the old mock-ups of what they want it to look like. Where does it stand right now on Wednesday with the race just a handful of days away?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as soon as we get in, I always say that as a team, but I got in Monday night because Tuesday morning, 8 a.m., we had our first meeting, and we went over to walk towards the track and just check out the facilities, check out where we're going. The commentary booth, I'll be commentating for the track TV. So basically anything that you see on the big screens, right? Like we have a great team at IMS doing that, with Alan Bestwick, Dave Calabro, those guys. So we're going to be that broadcast, but it's still, that's like, there's actually there's a lot to that. I'm going to be reporting in the pits at times as well. Doing some different stuff here and there. And we obviously have multiple teams too. There's a team of people that are doing stuff with fans, like over by the Sphere. There's like a whole part of the track by the Sphere, like the big Las Vegas Sphere. And then also another team in another area of the track as well. The track is massive, 3.8 miles. Like it is, after driving it last night, just enormous. But coming into just starting off, right, coming into the airport, F1 is everywhere. Every ad is, there's a Michelob Ultra ad with Alex Albon and Logan Sargent on every door. There's a Lewis Hamilton ad everywhere. There's race helmets in the baggage claim. It is heavily milked. F1 has heavily milked this whole program. Talking to the taxi driver on the way in, he's like, "Oh yeah, the traffic's been terrible," and it was like, even when I got in late at night, like 8:30 p.m., 9 p.m., The whole Las Vegas Boulevard is essentially under construction, and there's a lot of adjustments that are being made. There's to see it as well. When you get onto Las Vegas Boulevard and you see what has been done, the light gantries over every single part of the track to light every bit of the track. The way the walls have been set up already, very similar to, like, obviously IndyCar has great street races, so we've seen that done before, but it is a truly impressive facility that they have built. Like, it is astounding. When you walk basically right out of your hotel casino and you see this giant racetrack building, they've got this huge, 4-story thing that's right where the pit lane is, and all these things that have been constructed for people to watch. I mean, there's the Red Bull area. I mean, it all looks like the most expensive thing I've ever seen. And for a racetrack in general, I mean, I don't even think I see the same stuff at COTA. Like COTA, if you go to COTA for the Formula One race, they have a ton of stuff set up, a lot of suites and everything. But this stuff there might be it's smaller. There's not going to be as many people as COTA. But like some of the structures that they have literally put into the city of Las Vegas is astounding. It's almost like mind-numbing, which is crazy.
So we're not looking Firefest. So you were proven wrong.
No,
very good. Nice.
Well, so here's the thing. Did a lap of the track last night. Last night was the first night that they shut down, officially shut down Las Vegas Boulevard, officially shut down the streets so they could kind of finish the work. And there are people also, we were out on Monday night, got in, went out to celebrate Lando Norris's birthday. Lando Norris shot me an invite to his birthday dinner, which I was very excited, very cool. It was very nice of him to do that. But obviously, we had a late evening. I was coming back to the hotel about 3:30 in the morning. Everyone's still working on the track. Like, the track is full of, people running around the road, stuff going on, construction just happening constantly. And so it was the same last night. Last night, again, at the track, 2 a.m. call to get in the car and film a segment for evaluating the track. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people putting walls in place, putting things up here and there, making sure everything, they got track cleaners running all over the place. Like, it is, I mean, they're going to be working every hour up until, the first practice. I really do think that. And talking to some of the folks, they do, I mean, when you inject money into anything, you can always make it work, it seems like. But it's amazing. It's amazing to see that this was essentially just, I mean, this was Las Vegas, right? But Las Vegas has been almost permanently altered. But it's just amazing to see that there is a Formula One circuit of the quality that it is. Like, driving the track, it's a real racetrack. And it is, I mean, it is high quality, the curbs, the surface, It's not, there's not a ton of character to it. It's a lot of long straights. They're going to be flying. Like, the speed is going to be so high, and the straights last forever. So there has a potential to be a lot of passing, a lot of overtaking, which could be great for racing. But still a lot of work. They're going to be working on that thing till the very last second. I have a feeling, because there's just small things, right? Like, you end up having to move, tiny things here and there, small adjustments, get everything cleaned up. All the craziness that has gone on. They're moving forklifts every 50 feet. You know what I mean? They're putting in all kinds of, giant walls in place. They had a forklift breakdown. Well, that limits a bunch of things. You got to replace a forklift, right? So it's crazy.
Man, yeah, that it sounds like they maybe listen to the pod, and they're ensuring everything they can to make sure that they don't end up like Billy McFarland and the Firefest. Yeah. So it'd be good.
I will say
they don't do parade laps, right? Or
no? Well, in what sense?
Well, just because I was thinking, if you're on the in-track feed, I would love for you to give a little homage to Dave Calabro. Channel your best Dave, and when they're coming around, all right, Vegas fans, give them a wave. Who are you cheering for? Maybe give out a.
I might. I think we have the ability to do that. And right before the start of the race, they obviously leave the grid. They got the warm up lap, formation lap, and then they
Yeah,
pull up.
yeah, do that. Do
Yeah,
that.
I think I should do a very old school American call out. That would be quite funny. It's
Yeah.
I did predict that this race would be Fire Festival. Now, I do very Fire Festival esque. I fully admit that, and it's not over yet. So I don't know, but I will definitely. I've been treated very well. There's a lot of great people now that I've seen, working on this track. There's even Bill Van de Zandt, who worked at Indycar for so many years. He's here. Got to see him last night. He's obviously helping put this together. He works with Formula One now, and he's a great guy. Colin Hale, who was the team manager at Carlin when I qualified on pole. I think I mentioned that earlier, but he's heavily involved in working with this event, and they're working nonstop. So I gotta give them a lot of credit. It looks insane, dude. There's a casino and a wedding chapel in the paddock, like in the racing paddock. The MGM has set up an all see-through semi-permanent structure that has a roulette table in it, like red carpet floor, a blackjack table, a bar, and a wedding chapel. I mean, I've never seen anything like that before in my life. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be in Vegas and not have those things. It's funny seeing this like foreign kind of intake, like we're like playing to the foreigners. It's like if you had something in Texas, like the only thing that would be there would just be like cowboys and old saloons. And if you had one in Indy, it would be like corn cobs and basketball goals and whatnot. They're just fully going in and like, oh yes, world travelers. Everything that you've read and heard about Las Vegas is true. It's only gambling and love chapels to come get married to somebody you just had a one night stand with.
And everything is LED lit. Like, so it's all, everything's an LED light. Everything is, it's the funny part too, is there's some concession stands up there, right? There's like, oh yeah, hey fans, like let's go, get our hot dogs and our pork sandwiches, whatever we want. You know what I mean?
What are those running you, like $46 a pop?
Well, I didn't see prices, but like this is the concession stands are like, this is Wolfgang Puck food. You know what I mean? Like there's a prime rib grilled cheese and like very executive food items that I looked and I was like, that's not necessarily just like a hot
chicken
dog.
tender basket. Yeah.
No chicken tender. It's all, everything's got a very elegant twist to it. So gonna be wild to see. Opening ceremonies are tonight. I'm not exactly sure what happens during those, but I'm sure there seems to be a concert for every session every night. The Vegas Sphere too, by the way, it is everything everyone talks it up to be. I was doing the track lap. I'm driving in the car, and there's a whole Sphere section where the cars are literally right next to the Sphere. And I look up at it, and I'm like, holy crap! Like I didn't even we're really right here in the Sphere, and it is.
What was it lit up as?
Yeah, all Formula One stuff now. Yeah. So it's like Formula One logo, Aston Martin, like teams, team logo, stuff like that, Pirelli.
Sure.
But yeah, man, it's everything that it's cracked up to be. It's everything that it's talked about to be. And yeah, I will give it credit so far. It definitely, I know there's been a lot of controversy about it. People are hating the traffic. Again, I don't have to leave my hotel, so I don't have to deal with the traffic, thank God. But I might go on an adventure today to try to find, try to go shopping, do something, because I don't really do much during the day today. But yeah, pretty wild.
Do you have to be at opening ceremonies? What do you have to wear?
I don't know. Tonight's our rehearsal. Our rehearsal's basically right as opening ceremonies goes on. So just fairly relaxed tonight. Still, just gonna try to get a feel for the system, see what's going on, and really just see what's happening.
Have you had any insight, being somebody who's going to be one of the voices of the track while it's going on there? Have you had any insight or peeks at like a list of the celebrities that are going to be there on the race night morning?
Funny you ask. Yes, we did get a full list of the official celebrities coming to the race for partners. For basically, these are all the folks that are officially tied to companies, right? So, Alpine Formula One team is going to have these folks. Williams Formula One is going to have these folks. The promoter is going to have these folks. The track is F1 is going to have these folks. Official sponsor guests. You know what I mean? LeBron James, Tom Brady, Rihanna. It's big names. Ryan Reynolds. These are folks that are not
it
small
worked out
names.
for LeBron to be able to be there in season. That's pretty wild.
Apparently, LeBron is going to be there. Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I could keep going. Shaun White, Nina Dobrev, Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy, really?
Yeah. So it's going to be cool. There weren't any people that I was like really like, oh wow, I know all of those people, right? Like that would be sweet. Yeah. But there's also like, who else is going to show up? You know what I mean? Like the driver guests, like who are the drivers going to invite? People like that. It should be. Sure. It should be pretty cool to see. There's definitely an impressive lineup of musicians as well that are going to be performing. So they've got it stacked up.
Well, that's awesome, man. It sounds like a whole hell of a lot of fun. I'm glad I'm not there, but I'm also sad that I'm missing it. It's a little bit of both, like because it seems like a lot. It seems like a headache because I'd be one of the folks who would have to deal with traffic, who would have to, you know what I mean. But at the same time, it would be sweet to be a part of it, see it, love doing that. So that's exciting.
Well, it's great as well because old James Hinchcliffe and Will Buxton, friend of the show, we're all in the same hotel, thankfully, so we get to at least hang out and be able to interact, and so that's always a good time as well when you're nearby the homies.
Oh, Jimmy Hinch, yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
that's good. All right, well, that's the happenings in the Formula One world and the rundown there from CD. I'm sure, obviously, follow him on all socials. You'll be posting Instagram stories and tweets, and I'm sure of what you're doing, the whole scene out there.
This is also, I will be trying to keep people updated on the Instagrams, the TikToks, the Twitter. Just going to be like an F1 influencer this weekend. Just going to try to be my best F1 influencer. And fun fact, this is almost like a random Indy 500 driver fact. But the last Formula One race in Las Vegas, the last F1 street race, was 1982. And 1982, the last point scorer to leave with a point, which points in Formula One back then were first place to sixth place. Only 6 positions scored points.
Yep.
The 6th place finisher, the last point scorer in Las Vegas Formula One, was my dad, Derek Daly. So kind of cool to have a bit of history at this event. He was driving for Williams. So Williams, I definitely plan on going by and saying, hey, you guys got any cool pictures you can send me?
Yeah.
My dad's been tweeting it up too. He's definitely been trying to get that going, but pretty cool little tie to the Formula One race. However many years, 40, 50, 100 million years later, now I'm here working it. So it's kind of cool.
Love that. Yeah. Very cool little tidbit there. Awesome. Good deal. Well, that's the Formula One world. There were happenings in other motorsports avenues since we talked last. One of them being Graham Rahal in the Indycar series. News came out that he is back. He is going to be racing again for Rahal Letterman Lanigan in the 15 ride. As you said, kind of expected, but at the same time, when the struggles were happening early in the year last year, and even towards the end, I feel like there was a few that was like, hey, Graham's he's not old, but he's not young anymore, if you will. And he's such a businessman. We talk about it a lot on this show, how he's very rich and very business oriented. So, hey, is it time to go into ownership? Is it time to kind of pivot there for GR? And then lo and behold, he is back and will be racing again in 2024 as we're accustomed to, which I think is good for the series, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it was no question that Graham was going to be back. No question that he was going to, be a part of the family race team again. And honestly, it's not any question of whether he deserves to be there or not, because he was doing great. You know what I mean? The guy's on pole, finishing on the podiums of races, having great runs. So they figured it out. I think that team is going to be much stronger next year. I have to believe that because of their improvement through the season and after being a part of that operation and seeing how they work internally. So I think They've also added some employees. They've had some people go, but they've had some acquisitions of new folk on the engineering side. Yeah, good for Graham. Love to see that officially kind of all locked in. And we know that he's gonna be around. He's gonna be around for for a while longer, which is great for the fan base, great for us. Yeah, good for the team.
Yeah, I wanted to bring back that Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake's kind of dying, but
great car.
The Steak and Shake car and the fire suit that he had. I saw a bunch of those pictures circling around when the announcement was made, and man, that was all-time stuff right there.
That was a good car.
Right, yeah, one that he.
And now I'm hungry. Honestly, I'm starving. Now that you mentioned that, I gotta eat.
Oh, bro, which I don't even think I got to tell you guys. When for my ventures out in California a few weeks ago, I finally had an In-N-Out burger.
Oh wow, okay, for the first time.
First time, finally had it. I could do the burger was good. Could do without the fries.
Okay. Yep. That's it.
I agree.
Yep.
I felt as though the service and kind of the atmosphere was good. I liked how everybody's in the uniform. It kind of had that like 50s, 60s, like, hey, we're hustling, bustling here. I like that.
Vibes were good.
Right. Yeah, I mean, burger was good. Fries, didn't care for. Certainly not dying to go back, but could smash a burger or two from there if it's around. That's kind of
milkshake.
Did not get a milkshake.
Yeah, they're good. They're very basic, but I would recommend to kind of bring the whole experience together. Makes the fries better too, because I personally dip the fries in the milkshake.
Okay. Yeah,
so that helps it up a little bit for me.
See,
did you get the fries? Did you get the fries animal style, or did you get them with any cheese or any things on them?
No, I just wanted to straight up fries and ketchup. Get a judgment based on that.
If you want to be a real degenerate, it's fries animal style, which I have done before, and I think that does improve them because it obviously adds unhealthiness to them. So once you dump a bunch of cheese and stuff on fries, they can usually improve in ways. But you know what? You had to go raw and check it out.
I had my son with me. It was just, the cheese and the stuff that had just been a mess. So I didn't do that. Wanted to judge them on their merit alone. Just okay. This whole idea and debate about like In-N-Out or Whataburger or whatever. I'm like, hey, you keep both of those. I'll take Culver's and you guys just stay over there. Yeah. I mean, it's just, to me, honestly, there's no debate there. You got crinkle fries that are delicious. The burgers are pressed and very, very good. So, anyways, that's off-season Speed Street talk right there. Now Connor's even more.
I mean, I love it. I'm hungry.
He's even more hungry now that we talked about that.
Yeah. I don't know what we got. Guy Fieri has a restaurant in our hotel here. Guy Fieri's got a lot of wildness on that menu, and apparently they serve breakfast and lunch. So maybe I might go down to Guy Fieri's spot and see what's going on. I don't know.
He seems like a guy who would be on the guest list for a Vegas Formula One event.
I mean, yes, but I haven't seen him yet, so we'll see it. Maybe he's more of a NASCAR guy. I don't know. He also seems like he could be more of a NASCAR guy. I did meet Guy Fieri once at the NBA All-Star Game in Toronto. Very nice fellow. Very nice fellow.
Awesome. That's good. Other news, another friend of the show, Frankie Muniz. It was announced earlier this week that he's going to be.
That's a rumor, though. I don't think that was an official announcement. There was not an official announcement. Yeah, that was just that was a rumor page that you sent through, I think. But that is the rumor. That is the rumor. I don't want to say. We don't want to say anything that's not true.
Let me go back up here. What did I send? I thought this was straight. Oh, NASCAR. Wait. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
it's very much
NASCAR
a rumor page.
News, I think. Frankie Muniz is said to be heading to RSS Racing for the 2024 Xfinity Series season. Front stretch reports. I don't know.
Yeah, it's rumored to be. It's said to be. So that's not an official announcement. But I know for a fact that Frankie has been looking towards the Xfinity Series. So that'd be good for him. I do hope that works out. I mean, I think that'd be a big step forward. Gets him out of ARCA, which is, I mean, that's been a crazy series. So That would be
Yeah.
good. If that all happened, the Ryan Sieg racing team, Ryan Sieg is always kind of in the top 10 at places. So that would be not the best team, but a good team. So if that happens, then hey, there you go. But again, we just see rumors, but we like to talk about those too.
Rumors and reports. Ben,
I
you
don't
got
want to get anyone in
anything? I saw
trouble.
you scrolling over there. You got anything?
Yeah, I was just gonna say those for front stretch, which they typically can slide in some rumors and stuff. They're decently reliable, but you don't know until it's officially announced.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
until we see it come from the Frankie channels,
Yep.
it must only remain as speculation.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that'd be fun. Like you said, I feel like certainly like a casual viewer, Arcana is kind of like, what is that? Is that the hospital that the crazy people go to in Batman? Or what is? And then you go to Xfinity, and it's like, oh, okay, I watched that. It's good.
Yep.
So that would be nice. That would be really good. Now we got to figure out, because there's been snip snap back and forth with the damn IndyCar video game. Connor, do you have any inside scoop? Can you help us figure this out? I mean, Jesus Christ, what is going on?
Oh yeah, it's I don't think there's any other word for it other than it's a mess, and it's a real shame, because I mean I don't know enough about all of the details to really comment on it, but I hate that it's got to where it's got, because honestly now, not the funny but sad part about it is we were all going to be in a video game, and now like I'm not going to be in IndyCar full time next year, so I'm not going to be in a video game if they do another one. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a bit of a shame.
Update it though, like when you run the 500 or whatever. Like,
well, yeah, I mean,
in there.
Yeah, like maybe they'll put in the 500 entries as like a bonus downloadable content, maybe, who knows. But I also don't know what this means. Like, I don't know if you have to make a video game, like you really do. But like, I also don't know why. There has to be a better relationship with iRacing. Clearly, everyone thinks that. So I do hope that people just put on their thinking caps. We figure this out. And I wish we didn't get into the situation that we got into. There was a lot of content made. Like, there was a lot of good stuff made for this game. Like, I don't think we can't just fully discredit all the work that was done, because there were many, many hours, many, many things, resources put into this game. And it wasn't nothing. Like, we did see really cool screenshots of things. There was a lot of work done, so I want to make sure that those people get their credit, because they put a ton of hours into it. But the whole business of it, I guess the company of itself, Motorsport Games, again, I don't know enough about it. I don't want to throw anyone there under the bus, because I've met people from Motorsport Games before. They were great people, and again, there were a ton of people that were putting hours of their lives into it, and we appreciate that, because we need an IndyCar video game. But clearly there was something wrong, from the start, really. And you hate to see it. I hate to see it for us. It seems, if you're a longtime follower of IndyCar, this does seem like a very IndyCar thing to happen. So
Right.
Hopefully we can finally get rid of all those things, all these silly things that happen to the IndyCar series, and we can get back to some great stuff. But at least we do have a path forward now that the IndyCar does own the license again. They've kind of terminated the agreement with Motorsport Games, which I essentially think that means that Motorsport Games no longer exists, because I think they dumped everything else out. I don't know. I don't know what else they do, honestly. I know that they no longer Ben, was that right? They don't have anything going on with NASCAR anymore either. Like they gave that license away as well.
Yes, iRacing has like the full license for that. I don't remember them doing much. I think they did like the smaller NASCAR video game app stuff too, the kind of like little more arcadey stuff, but I think they're completely gone. Yeah.
So that's, you know what? I'm glad to at least figure something out, because I mean, it's been years of just, oh yeah, we're gonna have a game, and so we got to give some to the fans. You know, I mean, we got to. I know I've been trying to. I've had people reaching out to me, trying to help and make it happen. So there's no sense of there's no lack of urgency for trying to make this happen, but it does take time, and the business has to be right. The numbers have to be right. Everything takes money too, so got to figure that out. Yeah, but I agree with everyone. This does suck. There's no question about, we got to have a video game. We just have to have it.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it time and time again, and I've said time and time again, like how did I figure out the rules of soccer and actually want to be able to watch soccer somewhat? I started playing FIFA.
Yeah,
How many
exactly.
fans are you missing out on for being like, oh, this sick video game where cars go fast? Oh, this is a real thing. Oh, I want like you're missing the boat. It's got to happen. It's just
Gotta happen.
we haven't addressed it really too much. And the news that came out this week, it's just like banging your head against a freaking wall, man. But you're right. I mean, sometimes I'm sure those folks who were taking the 3D pixelated, shots of you guys in that thing 2 years ago,
Yeah.
like I'm sure they're all doing the work that they're supposed to do, and we appreciate them for that and commend them for that. But
It's never usually those people, right? Like if there's a problem, if there's a problem with a team, if there's a problem with a company, it starts. It's really at the upper management level, and the folks that are doing the work usually are just sad victims of the process. I've certainly been involved in a program like that struggled with those things before as well. So I get it.
Yeah. No, it's unfortunate, but this is a motorsport IndyCar podcast, and so we have to touch on the happenings, both good and bad, of that world. So,
Absolutely.
There you go. All right, you want to hop into weekend podium here?
Yeah, for sure. We can get into it. We've got to have a podium, and it's exciting because there is another motor race going on this weekend where we will see a podium that apparently is going to be absolutely absurd. Giant celebration in front of the Bellagio, so it's going to be crazy. But yeah, I'll get into it if you want.
Let's do
it. Cue the exciting podium music, Ben. You do a very good job with that. Here we go. P3 on the list for me. This is going to be it's going to be a funny first two for me, but this all makes sense. So P3 for me is craps. P3 for me is the game Craps, the casino game.
Yep.
I taught Lando Norris how to play craps on his birthday. He had never played the game before. He's obviously a young man, only 24, which is absurd. So we decided to go on an incredible run at the craps table. And when the energy is high at the craps table, like he had a few of his boys there, great people as well. When the energy at the craps table is flowing, it's like it's like nothing else. And everyone had hot hands. The money was coming in. We were having a wonderful time. And so kudos to Lando for learning how to play craps. And I tried to teach as best I could, but we were all winning. Everyone was having a great time. Good for Lando for getting out and celebrating his birthday. But yeah, craps, the energy was electric. So I very much enjoyed that. Very much enjoyed craps so far this week.
That sounds amazing. That's very exciting. I'm jealous, but I'll take a very sharp turn the other way for my P3. My P3 is just going to go to doing nothing.
All right.
Third place to doing nothing. This past weekend was the first weekend in like 2.5 months that I wasn't on the road for stand-up or for my tour with Fox and Dos Equis. And it just was amazing. Me and my family, my son and my wife, we put up the Christmas tree. We had a little Christmas show on. We didn't do anything on Friday night. Just hung out. Saturday, literally didn't do anything. Just watched college football, hung out. Sunday, same thing. It was just glorious. Like, we had no expectations, no plans, all just sitting there, relaxing, not having to catch flights or pack or fucking run around an airport or anything.
Love it.
Big P3 to occasionally, it's just nice to do nothing.
I love that. Yeah. I respect that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
P3 for me, speaking of doing nothing, I've been sick the past few days, and so I've been doing a whole lot of nothing and sleeping. But one specific remedy that really kind of shot me in the arm and really helped me get back to feeling like I'm alive, not having an out-of-body experience, was chicken noodle soup. So shout out chicken noodle soup for being invented and being sold in stores nearby. So I had a bowl of that about, I think it was yesterday, the day before, and that really cured me. So, it's easy on the throat, easy on the stomach. So it was delicious and got me back to where I am, where I'm a little more able to function.
I also love chicken noodle soup, by the way. So that's a big positive in our lives.
Yes.
Was it a little flu? A little
I don't know what it was. I had a fever at one point. We had chills. Throat was messed up. Cough, congestion, kind of just you name it. I think there's something going around just with, I don't know, just because some of my friends got sick. My girlfriend was sick for like 2 weeks. I didn't get sick, and then that was, probably a month ago. So apparently it could just be delayed from that. Who knows? So
Bro, it literally happened to me and my son a couple weeks ago. I was on the road in Pittsburgh and California. I was sick as a dog, man. Like cough, sore throat, just congestion everywhere, hacking up shit. And then now this week, all my son is like, Snots McGee, and we had to take him to the doctor. It's just that time.
It is. Yeah, and it's not quite flu because it's not like you're super down for the yeah. So I don't know. It's just kind of that weird. It's just that time of year. It's just getting cold, and people are, I don't know, just spreading all their germs. They're
getting gnarly out there.
Carrying. Apparently, it is.
As Connor just hangs out in the sunshine in Las Vegas.
Now it does cool down. Yeah, it does cool down.
It does look cold there at night, though.
I could see myself getting sick upon getting home from this trip, but it's definitely a little chilly. And our working hours are very much like you're a DJ. Like show up to the club at 11. Actually do dinner at 11. DJs go on in Vegas at like 1 a.m. the main acts, and then you're done at 3. I mean, I was literally walking back to my hotel last night at 3:30 in the morning after we filmed our segment. So this is very much an interesting schedule. So and oddly enough, my P2 sort of has to do with that. P2 for me is naps. P2 for me, naps. I had about 3 naps yesterday, or 2 naps yesterday. I will have another nap today at some point. Love naps. Love the fact that you can just basically I think any room in Las Vegas has the ability to just be fully dark in the middle of the day. They have great curtains. So fully enjoy the fact that I can just get into nap mode. In Vegas, I think I do naps better than anywhere else because I feel like I know that naps are going to help me be successful late into the evening. So naps, get on my list for P2.
Absolutely. Who doesn't love a good one? For sure. My P2, kind of going off of your weird hours out there in Vegas, what we've been talking about, my P2 goes to 9:30 a.m. football.
I just Colts W.
Right. Well, that happens
terrible game
week out there for the folks in Vegas and the West Coast. But for us, here in Indianapolis, the Colts played the Pats in Germany, and kickoff our time was 9:30 in the morning. So one of my best friends had a little Colts watch party, invited, there's probably 12, 15 people there. We had some breakfast stuff. We're drinking already. You love a good morning beverage, right? You don't feel bad. No one's looking at you funny for cracking open a Miller Lite at 9:20 in the morning.
Football season.
It's a great time. I am of the opinion that we need to do that just in America. It doesn't have to be every week, but give me a 9:30 a.m. kickoff in Pittsburgh. Let's get up and fucking going, and let's party in the morning.
Love a good brunch. Love a good morning, morning ceremony like that, especially if it's a Sunday morning. Absolutely agree with you on that. Yeah, I don't know if I love the Europe games because they're bad games. Like they're usually hammer the under all the time. I mean, 16 points were scored in the Colts game. Colts did get that W. Love to see that. But my gosh, that was a difficult watch because I was having breakfast myself. I had a little mimosa, watched the game, but not a great watch.
No, but that kind of makes it better. You're just it fits. Like if there was a great shootout of a game at 9:45 overseas, you'd be like, well, why isn't this just in prime time in America? You kind of need it to be an absolute shit show, Just
I agree.
That's just kind of how I was thinking about it. But 2 for me, 9:30 a.m. football. There you go. Ben.
I love it. Well, speaking of early mornings or late nights, however you want to put it, my P2 goes to the text we got from Connor at 2 a.m., giving us a little update of how he was doing the other night when he was celebrating Little Norris's birthday. I found that very entertaining. Yes. I was dying, specifically that portion of the evening, but I was like, I was literally dying. So I was glad one of us was having a good time during that. So Connor, I don't know if you remember that text, but it was just nice.
I do.
Yeah, it was
I
just nice.
do. I had my life. I was fully engaged in trying to obviously create content for us and obviously get stories and figure out what's going on, who's doing what. I did not get my phone out and I did not do a speed street interview.
That's okay.
Do that. I should have probably. But maybe going to try to interview some folks randomly, in the paddock if I can remember to do that with my phone. So we'll see. Stay tuned for F1 content. Who knows?
Love it. Yep. No, that was good. I appreciated it. All right.
Well,
P1.
Let's get to the top of the list here. As I look at my notes, I'm also trying to figure out who should we go with for the random Indy 500 driver of the week. But P1 on my list is unlimited money. P1 on my list is unlimited money. Unlimited money can build you a Formula One track in one of the most crazy cities in the world. And literally, I mean, it might make a ton of people mad. But if you have unlimited money, you can do whatever you want. And I have fully believed that now after seeing what has been constructed here, after seeing what is going on. I mean, it truly, like, if you see it, like, literally look like it's crazy to think that a motor race has again, we've done Long Beach for forever. Long Beach is that's so historic. That's that's an amazing race and they do a great job there, but it's not necessarily downtown. It's on the beach and it's there, and it is downtown Long Beach, but it's not like the busiest of roads, right? This is like shutting down Las Vegas Boulevard. It's insane. And building a giant 4-story facility that's and all these incredible, we saw it on Monday Night Football. I don't know if you guys watched that, or Sunday Night Football, because it was the Raiders game, which, shout out Raiders, won me a great bet. But they show the circuit and it looks like a monstrosity, and it is a monstrosity. 3.8 miles of motorsport. You're going to see those cars doing 215 plus miles an hour, crazy stuff. So it's, unlimited money can just do anything. So it's pretty crazy to see.
What I hear. I'd like to get my hands on some of that one day.
Yeah, I'd like to figure out how to do research and maybe figure that out.
I just wonder what the Rat Pack is thinking, like rolling over in their graves. They would love it, I'm sure. Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, D. Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., those guys. Big Vegas spokes, those guys. So I'm thinking of how they would take it in this weekend and this week, which I'm sure they would do it in a big way. But I love the money. That would be nice. That would be very nice. My P1, a little bit different here, and it's not necessarily from the weekend because it just happened, but my P1, surprisingly, is actually going to go to the Cleveland Browns organization, because they just time and time again, they're just the gift that keeps on giving year in and year out. Quite literally, the George Costanza, the life form organizational version of George Costanza, the Cleveland Browns. They invest $230 million guaranteed for a guy who shan't be named, but he just got injured. And you don't want to root for injuries. I'm not rooting for injuries, but the funniness here, the number one on the podium, goes to the fact that they paid him like $90+ million to play in 12 games. Oh, and by the way, his season just ended. Oh, and by the way, they owe him like $68 million guaranteed next year. I mean, they just absolutely always find a way. No matter if they have the greatest hopes of hopes, they always find a way to come back down to being the Cleveland Browns. So a big P1 shout out to you, Brownies. You guys always are you keep it coming, the gift that keeps on giving. And really, really big shout out to you for investing $230 guaranteed $1 million to a guy such as you did. So shout out to you guys.
Love that. My girlfriend's a Browns fan, so
oh, that's tough. So Kevin Stefanski used to be the OC for the Vikings when we had that. I think it was the Case Keenum Minneapolis Miracle season, and so I have like a little bit of like beef with him because when it came to that last playoff game, I believe it was against the Eagles, if I remember right. That's when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl that year, or they played the Niners. The next game they played super conservatively, and I think it was because he already knew he had the Browns job, so that was a little bit of like, I wasn't a huge fan of that. So you hate to see it, but you really don't. So that's my opinion on it. But P1 for me, I have Las Vegas social media content while we're on the whole thing. Just like, I mean, F1 usually does this when they go to all these cities that I feel like the teams all kind of really embrace, like all the themes and everything, and they go out and they do their marketing and stuff. But I mean, you got Gunther Steiner in one of those little studio things with like a glittery jacket, and he's flinging, big ass like playing cards and everything, and you got all the teams to go out taking photos and photoshopping the sign and stuff. So there's that like making it seem like it's a big deal when it is, but just like having everybody buy into it because they know how important that is pretty cool to watch. So
everyone is fully bought in, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Buying it is key.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's our weekend podium. Very good. I appreciate it as always. Feel free to, send us yours, whether it's at the Speed Street account or just our personal ones. We enjoy doing this segment. I think it kind of is a perfect capture.
I don't know if any. Also, I want to know if folks watched the Netflix Cup. There was a live Netflix sporting event. The F1 drivers played with the PGA golfers. I didn't get to watch it, obviously, because I'm in a hotel. I don't have my Netflix. I didn't fire up Netflix on my computer or anything like that. But let us know how that looked. I think I obviously knew, like Lando and I talked about it on his birthday, and it seemed like a really cool idea. It seemed like there was a ton of people there. It seemed like the energy was high, and it seemed like there were some drivers, like Alex Albon and Pierre Gasly, seemed like they made they made you. Not everyone can be a golfer, it sounded like at times. So I just want to hear what people thought of it and see what Netflix doing a live sporting event, what that looked like, because it seemed cool. There was a ton of people there and a pretty cool way to kind of kick off the week. So I want to hear what people thought about that.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Podium in the books, little wraparound in the books. Connor, do you have a random Indy 500 driver for us?
I do, yeah. So I went, this was obviously, there's been a lot going on here, so I didn't have a ton of time to develop a great idea, but I decided to go with something very unique. I went 1982, since my dad was 1982 last in the Formula One, race here in Las Vegas. We went with the 1982 Indy 500. What was going on with the 1982 Indy 500? Well, Gordon Johncock won that year, and I went with a name that I do know of, and this might be a less random for some people, but maybe a name that I haven't heard in a while. We're going to go with the 13th place finisher in the 1982 Indy 500, Hector Rebaque. Hector Rebaque was I believe, a very famous name at the time, one that I have not heard in a while, though. Was in Formula One, was born in 1956, a Mexican racing driver, very popular, I'm sure, like Pato O'Ward. Apparently he also ran his own Formula One team called Rebaque in 78 and 79. But 58 Formula One World Championship Grand Prix, debuted at the 1977 Belgian Grand Prix. I don't see a ton about his Indy 500 career on the Wikipedia, but there you go. 1982 Indy 500. 13th place finisher. Also drove in the 1982 season for Forsyth Racing. Jerry Forsyth was one of my original investors. But it looked like was that his only Indy 500? I don't know, but definitely he was injured a week later testing in Michigan, and felt oval racing was too dangerous after that. So that's wild. That's crazy.
Yeah, he won his final kart race, which was the first one held at Road America. I don't think you said that right. That's interesting. So
yeah, no, that's wild. That's cool. So Hector Rebaque, we learned a little bit about Mexican Formula One star.
Yeah. And just because it's on the theme of the week, his last F1 race, according to Wikipedia, was the 1981 Caesars Palace Grand Prix in Las Vegas. So
there you go. Wow.
Look at you with no prep, doing a random one, and you come through with that. Just a full time.
Crazy. Look at that.
What a go. Way to go. What a go. Holy shit. Okay. There it is. Hector Rebaque. Okay. Well, Yeah, a fun one. No interview this week, but a lot of chit chat about the off season, what's going on in the world of motorsport, of course, because that's what we're here for. So glad to have you guys with us. We continue to follow and subscribe to Connor's YouTube channel to be able to watch our show as well as listen to it. Follow, subscribe, leave a rating and review so we can continue to climb up there in those motorsport podcasts and people continue to join the neighborhood here on Speed Street. Connor will be out there being an influencer, taking all sorts of content and video and photo from the Formula One weekend in Las Vegas. So be sure to tune into that. And yeah, me and Ben will just be rooting for our slightly above average, mediocre to slightly above average football teams this weekend. So that's what's coming. So. Big weekend for us, big weekend for CD, and we appreciate you having you guys here. And until next time, we'll talk to you on Speed Street.
Hey everyone, Connor Daly here. Please leave a like on this video if you did enjoy it, and also subscribe to the channel as well. That would be very helpful. Be a friend, tell a friend. Thank you so much for the support, and we'll see you on the next episode of Speed Street.